Hello and welcome back. We're doing my first ever pantry challenge and I am super excited. I am excited to see what all I can use up in my pantry and how much money we can save by doing this. I got this idea from Acre Homestead, who originally got the idea from Three Rivers Homestead, and it's the Three Rivers Challenge. So I will link both of their channels down below if you want to check them out because they're awesome. So I am going to set my rules. Part of the challenge is if you're doing it yourself, then you make your own rules. And since this is my first one, I'm going to make them very simple and pretty easy to follow, I hope, because I have no idea how this is gonna go. But I'm just going to do it for 2 weeks starting out. So I'm going to do 2 weeks and I am going to buy nothing for my dinners. So I'm going to shop my pantry and my fridge and freezer to get everything for our dinners so we don't have to purchase ingredients for those. And I am going to shop my pantry and fridge and freezer for breakfasts and lunches, but I'm giving myself a little bit of leeway there, and if we need to purchase like bread or milk or eggs or something like that for our lunches and breakfasts, then I am going to give myself that rule. I am married and we have 3 children, so that's a little bit about me and my family and how many people I'll be feeding with these meals. So I'm going to show you a sneak peek of what my pantry looks like right now, and then I will go through what we are going to be having for dinners for this first week of my pantry challenge. So this is my pantry door here in my kitchen, and let's show you. It's a pretty decent size from other pantries that I know in the houses around here, but my husband built that top shelf and then I've been able to use bins and stuff. And of course, it is quite a disaster, so part of this is me being able to use up and reorganize everything in here. And there's some food storage down in the bottom that I'll be cycling through. And he also built these shelves on either side for extra storage. This one is like kind of our can shelf, and it goes all the way up and all the way down to the floor. So quite a bit of food and everything in here, so I definitely think that I'll be able to get 2 weeks worth of dinners and quite a few breakfasts and lunches out of what we have in here and in the fridge and freezer. For dinner number 1, I'm going to be making this super easy and yummy Korean beef and rice. For the sauce, you need brown sugar, soy sauce, sesame oil, ground ginger, black pepper, and crushed red pepper flakes. And I am just going to mix all of that together and let that sit while I'm cooking my ground beef. So I cooked some garlic cloves with my ground beef and drained it, and now I'm adding the sauce. And it's really good to stir it all around and get the sauce really coated on all of the meat. and then I let that cook in for a couple of minutes. And I just cooked rice in my rice cooker, so I'm putting that on the bottom, and then the ground beef on top. And I like to add sesame seeds to the top of this. And to go along with it, we had some frozen vegetables that we had. And here's the finished product of dinner number 1. Alright, it's been a super busy day. I've been making Valentine's treats all day, and then this afternoon we had my daughter's birthday get together with family, and I was wearing this shirt. I thought it was such a cute shirt. And this is my belly right now. But we're just having a very simple dinner and using up some random things that I put together for our meal. So this is what we're having. We're gonna have some shrimp, and I thought I had 2 of the same boxes, but we're gonna just make 1 of each. So this 4 cheese gnocchi and 4 cheese risotto, and then 2 cans of green beans, and that's our dinner for tonight. Okay, here's the final product for dinner number 2. We've got our shrimp and green beans, and I wanted a little bit of each of those 2 packs. For night number 3 for dinner, we're gonna have some chili. So I had got this chili and crackers a few weeks ago, and maybe longer than that actually. We just haven't eaten it yet. So that will be a dinner, and we have sour cream and cheese, and then some apples that we had in the fridge. For dinner number 4, we're going to have spaghetti and meatballs and some baked carrots. So I've got my 3 cans of tomato sauce, and I'll show you how I make my sauce. Some spaghetti that we've had in the pantry, our frozen meatballs, because as of right now I do not make homemade meatballs, and then carrots that we need to use up, and I'll show you how I make those as well. Okay, so I chopped all the carrots in these thin slices, and I'm going to add some olive oil, and to not dirty up stuff, I just kind of mix it all together and then spread them all out evenly on the pan. And then I'm just going to do salt, pepper, and Parmesan cheese. And I normally cook this at a higher temperature, more like 425, for probably at least 12 minutes and then check them. But the meatballs that I'm cooking cook at 350, so I'm going to cook them at that. So it may just be a little bit longer. Okay, so the carrots took almost 30 minutes. I did even have to crank up the heat after I took the meatballs out. But this is what they look like. And they are super delicious. Alright, so I'm adding to my cooked and drained spaghetti noodles 3, 8-ounce cans of tomato sauce. And then these spices, so it's 1 tablespoon of brown sugar, a half a teaspoon basil, a half a teaspoon oregano, a half a teaspoon garlic salt, and an eighth of a teaspoon marjoram. And I usually add this to 1 pound of cooked hamburger beef, but because we're having meatballs instead, I'm just adding it straight to the noodles and stirring it up. Here is the finished dinner. So I've got the spaghetti and meatballs with some Parmesan, the carrots, and then I did end up, I forgot I had these, making some of these frozen pretzel sticks that I had left over. And this was requested by my daughter for her birthday dinner. For dinner number 5, I have this chicken that needs to be used up, and I wanted to try a new recipe. So I found this creamy garlic chicken recipe that I'll link in the description below. But what I'm going to be putting on the chicken and then searing is this a mixture of Parmesan cheese, flour, olive oil, salt and pepper, and Italian seasonings. And then the garlic sauce that is going to go on top of the chicken and on top of these mashed potatoes that I had in the pantry. It has a bunch of garlic cloves, unsalted butter, chicken broth, a beef bouillon cube, soy sauce, flour, onion powder, mustard powder, dried thyme. It does call for heavy cream, but I had half and half, so that'll do, and Parmesan cheese. And then I also have 2 canned green beans that we will eat with this. Okay, to start the sauce, I've got my chicken broth that I used for my bouillon cubes. I'm going to add 1 beef bouillon cube, the onion powder, mustard powder, and thyme, and the soy sauce. To continue the sauce, I melted the butter in the pan and added my garlic. And I just let that cook for a few minutes, and then I added the flour. And whisked that all together till it was combined. And then I added the chicken broth mixture in just like little batches and whisked it together so that it would get smooth. After all that was combined, I added what I used, half and half, but the recipe calls for heavy cream, and combined that together. And I brought it back to a boil and then stirred in the Parmesan cheese. Man, does anyone else have a difficult time getting that Parmesan cheese out sometimes? Sometimes I have to bang the can on the counter to get it to loosen up. And then I whisk that in as well. So here is my chicken seasoned with salt and pepper and Italian seasoning, and I'm just going to dredge it in my flour and Parmesan cheese mixture. And I've got my cast iron pan here with my oil heated up, and I'm just gonna place all of the chicken in there to cook nice and deliciously. I kind of gauge how long to do it, but I don't know, 4 to 5 minutes, maybe sometimes longer, just depending. And it looks delicious, and you flip them over and then you add the sauce in. It didn't boil like this for very long. And here we have the delicious finished product. It was actually really, really good, and we'll keep this recipe in our rotation. For dinner number 6, I think it's number 6, we're having it super easy. We're having this frozen Tuscan chicken pasta. This is it frozen. I'll show it to you cooked. But this was part of my last freezer meal video that I'll link down below. And then to go along with that, we have the rest of the carrots from the other day. And I decided to do something a little bit different, so I cut them up like this and just in little strips. And I'm going to cook them with a little bit of oil in the cast iron pan and season them with, this is a blend of salt, pepper, and garlic, and then a little bit of Italian seasoning as well. And here's the pasta cooked. It's really good. We love it. And this is the first time I've done carrots like this, but they look really good as well. Dinner number 7 for week 1 of my pantry challenge. And y'all are probably just going to be like, man, you've got a bunch of just like processed and pre-made cans and stuff. Listen, this is stuff that's been in there for a bit. You know, it's stuff that we had for food storage or whatever, and so it's what we have in our pantry. It's what needs to be used up. So this is my pantry challenge. I am gonna be trying my hand at homemade pizza, I think, next week. So we'll see how that goes. But we have these 2 cans of creamy chicken and dumpling soup. There's 1 more left in this box for the Cheddar Bay biscuits, and then some canned peaches. Here we have the chicken and dumpling soup, and then the yummy cheddar biscuits, and our peaches. Super easy. Well, that's it for week 1 of my pantry challenge. I'm only doing 2 weeks this time, but check out the hashtag below, 3 Rivers Challenge, to see all of her content. She does it for the full month of January and February. Plus, there are other content creators that are doing the challenge as well, and that's all in the hashtag. And I'll have her link and Acre Homestead, who I found this through, linked down below as well. I can't remember if I explained exactly the purpose. I think I did a little bit in the very beginning. But, you know, some of the things along with the pantry challenge, if you want to do one as well, is you can save some money. You can use up what's in your pantry, so less food waste. And on Three Rivers Challenge, she is making room for stuff that she's going to be bringing in from her garden and canning and preserving. I am doing my first garden this year, so we'll see how that goes. I would appreciate you subscribing, sticking around, and I hope y'all have a wonderful day, and I'll see y'all next time.